to say I'm a single childless man. My experiences have been with women with children are that they are expecting a ready-made dad and aren't prepared to take time getting to know each other and gradually spend time with their children. In my worst experience, my date turned up with her children in tow.
Oh, wow.
It's rendered me speechless. I think that's a one-off.
On how many levels?
Yeah. I mean, my family is a single-parent family, and we're absolutely happy with our setup. Freddie knows he doesn't have a dad. He knows some families do have dads, but the way his family setup is as it is, and I'm certainly not looking for that at all. And that is one of the biggest myths, is that we're looking for a dad-shaped puzzle piece to like slot into our family, and it's not like that at all. And that really shocks me, that text, actually.
Can I ask you both how difficult it is to inject, because you're not supposed to inject it, are you? This shows that I've been married for quite a while. Spontaneity into your relationship. How do you be spontaneous when you have to think about what time you get home, all the different things that you have to think of when you've got a young one to look after? Amy, you first.
I think our very notion of what being a parent in your 20s is skewed, and I think that's what puts people off. They imagine immediate responsibility and boredom and I can't think of that word, mundanity, is that a word? Probably not, but you know what I mean, the boringness. And I thought when I got pregnant unexpectedly, that's what my life was headed for. But actually, having a child in your 20s enriches your life. It's loads of fun, and if you can find a decent babysitter, you can actually do quite a lot, and it doesn't take it away. And I think you can still be spontaneous, but just in different ways, and it's all give and take, really.
Kevin?
No, I agree, because I still have a lot of fun. Even before I became a full-time dad, I had my son on the weekends, every 2 weekends, and I was still able to have fun. I had a good job and I was going out, I still had fun. Even now that I have him, if I want to go out, I have 8 aunties.
Yes, my family are brilliant as well.
I have loads of cousins, so literally if I really want to go out and I say I want to go on a Friday, I can just bring him to my auntie, let him stay there for the evening, and I can go out. So for me now, the only difference I see, I'm more structured, even though I could be spontaneous on the day, but the best thing is I've always got that support around me. Mm-hmm. So on a Friday, if I'm tired, I go stay at my auntie's. And if I've decided I'm going to go out tonight, we go out. Sometimes we go out and we go out for the whole night and come back in the morning. Sometimes I just go out with my cousins and we go out and spend the whole night out.
That is the key, isn't it? Having that support system.
So I think having support just makes it a lot easier.
I mean, who looked after Freddie when I went to Crohn's man date? My mum. You know, she's always there.
That's an hour of her life. She'll never get back.
Me
just
neither.
For you, I know. Just for you. Listen, Joe, there is, though, sometimes I think a perception when single men and women that are single parents dating, that they should settle for whoever they can get, isn't there? There's a kind of that perception, you should just get on with it and you shouldn't be being particularly picky.
That's the key to unhappiness, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. But people do think that way, don't they?
I don't believe in that.
She started off that way, and then she decided, she wants to choose for herself. And the truth is, you're not to be defined by, having a child. You have a child. And what's really interesting, listening to both Amy and Kevin, is that they created the time to date. And you get a lot of people who make an excuse who don't have children, who are not single parents, saying, I'm just too busy to date. That's not true. If you want to do it, you will find the time. And actually, the people who find the most time are the busiest people, because they're the ones who are determined to do it.
I wonder, Kevin, particularly from yourself, you had your little boy at such a young age. Do you ever wish that you had done things slightly differently? And obviously, you don't wish you haven't had your child or whatever. But do you wish that maybe you'd have changed the circumstances, maybe done it a bit later? And the same to you as well, Amy. If you could change anything at all.
For me, I always say to my brothers as well, like if I had to choose when to have him, I'll probably have him later and just keep him as to how he is. Because, he's an amazing boy and I love my son to bits. And I could see maybe I would have done a couple of things a bit different because I had to make tough decisions really quickly. But I wouldn't take it away because part of it, when I look at it, it makes me who I am today.
Exactly.
If without those tough situations, tough challenges and going through those stages, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. In my life, and I'm doing really, really well in my life.
Jo, what are your top tips for people that are just making this first foray into the dating scene, or indeed for those maybe that have been doing it for a while as single parents and are just not finding the person that they're looking for? First of all, for the people that are newbies, that are novices to it, I mean, are you like Amy and thinking that actually dating apps are probably not the way forward anymore?
Oh, well, do you know what? They were hailed as the great new thing. I think they've become very shallow. And there is something that both Amy and Kevin referred to called the paradox of choice. So it's a bit like going into a supermarket and seeing 6 different boxes of cereal. You know which one to choose. It's easy. When you've got 200 boxes of cereal, you are literally spot for choice. You don't know where to go. So I think, when you're starting out, don't belittle yourself in any way. Don't say, well, now I'm mum, or now I'm a dad, I'm on my own. I'm going to sort of punch below my previous weight. Know the kind of person you're looking for. You know yourself better. Again, Kevin said that. You are the person you've become, partly because you are a single parent, and so use that and sort of be quite focused in who you want. Don't waste your time. If your instinct tells you a date isn't appropriate for whatever reason, you're not going to enjoy it. Your time is too precious to waste. Going on 2 or 3 dates a week. You can't do it like some people can. So, just work it out, what it is you want from somebody, what you want from a relationship, and sort of just narrow that field down and take it slowly. There's no desperate hurry. And, be yourself. Don't be defined by the fact you have a child, but please say that you do have a child, because otherwise you'll get that experience that Amy's had.
Probably not exactly.
That
was fairly unique.
It was really horrible. But when people are shocked and they're not expecting it, they lash out in a stupid way, which is what this guy did.
Yeah.
So better to, as you say, not to do that big reveal, to at least hint at it exactly as Amy's done it. Say it by putting a photo. Say, one of the things I enjoy is swimming with my kids at a weekend. Make sure they know about it, even if you don't spell it out, because then you're a lot less shocked.
This is remiss of me not to have thought of this, but I've just seen the other perspective as well. Jez on Twitter has said, I had a 2-year relationship with a mother of 2 beautiful children. I was younger, had no kids. It didn't work out for us. Still not sure why, and that's 25 years later, he says. It broke my heart because I missed her boy and girl so much. It's not just the parent who takes a risk.
My last relationship, interestingly, ended fairly recently, and he still sees my son. So that relationship has kind of stayed whilst ours didn't.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Did it take you long to make that decision, or did you know instantly that's what you were going to do, that he was a good guy? And
I think I felt like that relationship was forever.
Worth it.
So
fabulous.
I went into it thinking that there was no other conclusion possible, but I knew I couldn't just rip that from Freddie, and that they need to still see each other because they did form a relationship. Not a parental one, though, may I add. He was never Freddie's dad, and I think that's important as well.
Yeah. And Kevin, does your concern about finding the perfect woman, if there is such a thing, that can be a mother at some point for your little boy, do you think that makes things more difficult for you because you're maybe stood there with your guard up much more than if you were just dating and enjoying yourself without the worry?
Yes, to be honest, yes. I think, because I have my son, I'm always thinking about him. I can't just be with anyone who is not going to, kind of give him that motherly love that he lacks in his relationship. Even if it's not motherly, it's just friendly, just to be nice with him. Because I'm surrounded quite by a lot of women, and I see that my son is always asking, whenever he gets close to some of my friends who are women, and I see he asks for them, like on when we were at home, he'll be like, oh, can we go to this person's house?
Well, listen,
or can we go to this person's house? So for me, I think it's important. So it is very, I find
it can be a great
difficult.
filter.
It is quite challenging.
Children are a good filter.
I sincerely hope we both do, that it works out for you guys.
Good luck.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Kevin now.
You got Kevin, exactly. Kevin,
we were down the pub. Bye.
And Jo Hemmings. Cheers, Jo. From Johnny and I, a big thank you to you all for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow. It's Kelly Cates and Ian Wright.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, Ian Wright, Chris Sutton and Andy Townsend.